Alright guys, so this is a review from middle school. We're going to go back over slope-intercept form, which is the famous y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. That's why it's called slope-intercept form. And so for the first one, you're going to write y equals, and then we got to find the slope and get rid of that. That is just stupid. And then we got to find the y-intercept. So the slope, you pick 2 points. They have them labeled there. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 over 2. So the slope is up 4 to the right 2, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. And so you're going to write y equals 2x, because that's the slope. And then the y-intercept is where on the y-axis does the line cross. And that's at -3, so you put a -3. So this is the slope-intercept form of that line. I'm going to have you do 2, and then that one is 4 over 5, -4 over 5x minus 2. And then number 3, you would do y equals, okay, so first you do the slope. So it's definitely going downward, so it's down 1 over 1, 2, 3, so 1 over 3 negative. And then the y-intercept is 0, so you could put plus 0, but you really don't need to put anything. In fact, you wouldn't see it written with anything. All right, now if you're going to graph a line, you go to -1, you start, this is your y-intercept, so you usually start at the y-intercept. And then 5 over 4 is the slope, so 5 is your rise and 4 is your run. So I'm going to start at -1. I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 5 over 4, but I'd be off the grid. It'd be up here somewhere. If I wanted to go backwards, I would go down 5 and backwards 4. And then use a ruler and you connect. Okay, now this one, the y-intercept is 6, so that's where you start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The slope is this invisible -1. So the slope is -1, and to make it a fraction, you put it over 1. So that means you go down 1, but to the right 1. Down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1. And that will be your line. And then number 6, y equals 2x, so there's an invisible 0 here, so 0 is your y-intercept, so you start here. The slope is 2, so you put it over 1, which means positive 2, you go up 2, over 1, up 2, over 1, up 2, over 1, down 2, backwards 1, down 2, backwards 1, down 2, backwards done, and you got a line. How many minutes are we at? Where are we at? Okay, cool. Now, standard form is when it's ax plus by equals c. That's when you have both your x and y variables and you have a constant on the other side. It says because standard form does not give you slope, you must be able to convert them to slope-intercept form. So I know if you had Miss Jimenez, she taught you that slope equals like a over c, negative opposite of a over c, and y-intercept is, what is it? I don't even remember. C. Wait. Oh no, a over b. Opposite of a over b, and that would be, what, c over b or something? I don't know. I don't memorize the tricks. I just try to get y alone so that it's in slope-intercept form. So to get the y alone, I would take away x. Take away x, you get y equals -x plus 6. And then you can see the slope is -1 and the y-intercept is 6. Right here, I'm going to take away 5x. Take away 5x, so I get 2y. And this is good practice for algebra 2 because you have to do this kind of solving. So I'd like to write my x term first, and then -2 comes here. Then I divide by 2, divide everything by 2. So I get y equals -5 over 2x, and then a -2 divided by -2 is a -1. Last but not least, I take away 2x. Take away 2x, so I get -4y equals -2x plus 28. And I divide by a -4, divide everything over here by a -4. So I get y, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. 2 divided by 2 is 1/2. So I'm going to put 1/2 x. And then 28 divided by a -4 is a -7. So these are your answers. And then let me scroll on over. I'm just going to write these answers real quick. Should be y equals 3x minus 5. This one, I'm going to have to do it. So I get 8y equals -6x minus 16. Divide by 8, and you get y equals -3 for x minus 2. And then here, you get -x, because 0 take away x is just 0. And divide by a -4. You get y equals, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So you could write 1/4 x or x over 4. These are your answers. How much time we got? All right, cool. To graph each line, I would turn it into slope-intercept form. I'm going to minus x. I get -2y equals -x plus 8. Divide by a -2. Divide everything by a -2. You get y equals, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So I get 1/2 x, and then 8 divided by -2 is a -4. So I'm going to graph it. I start at -4 because that's my y-intercept, and then I'm going to go 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. That's kind of the line. Now this one here, I am going to take away 3x. Take away 3x. I get 5y equals -3x plus 5. Sorry, this is so sloppy. Divided by 5. So you get y equals -3/5. And then 5 divided by 5 is just 1. So you start at 1. Positive 1. Then you go down 3, forward 5. And that's your line. Okay, -3 over 5. All right, vertical lines. If you remember from last year, if you had me or Miss Jimenez or Miss Thurman, we talked about Vux and Hoy, our Swedish friends. So a vertical line is written as x equals, where a represents the x-intercept. So the equation of this line would be x equals, and it goes through -1, whereas this line goes through y equals 3. And the slope of a vertical line is undefined, and this slope is a fat old 0. Okay, so let's just practice that real quick, and then I'm done. Yay! I'm so excited. So y equals 4. It's going to be a horizontal line at 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The slope is 0, and it just goes like that. X equals -2 is a Vux. Sorry, that's sloppy. So it's a vertical line at -2. Oh my gosh, that is really terrible. There we go. And then y equals 0 is a horizontal line at 0. Hope this helps. Love you guys. Bye.